guys, welcome back to Bibliophile Reads. I'm Courtney, and today you're joining me for a very, very delusional October TBR. If you're new here, thanks so much for popping on. I'm Courtney. I do bookish videos, reviews, wrap-ups, TBRs, Kindle videos. I would love to have you check out my content and subscribe. Subscribing is free. I'm so close to 1,000 subscribers, so please consider doing that. If you're returning, thank you so much for returning. I'm so happy to have you here. Be sure to share my channel with somebody who also might enjoy it. Now, I think I can safely say that I am a TBR person. I originally thought that I was not because sometimes TBRs really throw me off, but I actually found in September a way to really work through the TBR to stick to what I had. So now we're in October, and I am so excited to dive into the October books. So between September and October is when I really start getting into the October-y sort of books, the witchy romance books, and I saved a bunch for October. I also find it to be a really good fantasy month, and so I have a good amount of all of those types of books. As we get into November and December, I'll probably still do fantasy in November, but then I'm looking at Christmas style books, and so this is like the last shot for some of these great witchy, dark books that I've been wanting to read. So I have an insane TBR, and this is really going to be a pile of possibilities because I don't think I'll be able to get through all of these unless I'm very determined. I have 18 physical books plus some Kindle books that I want to read this month. And so I need to be really diligent to get these done. But let me tell you what my pile of possibilities are. So let's start off with the digital books. That I want to read. And I feel like I went through my Kindle to double check my category. I have a folder that's just called Witchy Romance to make sure I didn't forget anything. And so I want to include those. But here are the books that I want to read in October. Okay, first, I want to read Bookshops and Bone Dust. This is book 2 in the Legends and Latte series. I've had this for a while and over a year. Obviously, it came out last year. And Legends and Lattes was a cozy book. Not my favorite, but I do want to just move on to Bookshops and Bone Dust. I know it's sort of like a prequel, and now's the time. I just need to go ahead and read it, and so that's on my list. I also want to read The Pumpkin Spice Cafe and the Cinnamon Bun, whatever. I'll have the picture here. I want to read these two. I have them both on my Kindle. They're supposed to be really atmospheric, cute, Gilmore Girls inspired type books, and that's exactly what I'm looking for. I also recently saw a book on Kindle Unlimited called Phantasma, and I'm going to tell you what it's about. So it's a dark fantasy romance. It's part of a series called Wicked Games, and as it's loading, okay, it is on Kindle Unlimited, so that's great, but it says, when Ophelia's sister disappears, there's only one way to save her. Ophelia must enter Phantasma, a deadly contest inside a haunted mansion, and claim its prize, a single wish. Phantasma is a maze of twisting corridors and lavish ballrooms of demons and temptations. Ophelia will face 9 challenges, each more dangerous than the last. There can only be one winner, and the other contestants will stop at nothing to eliminate their rivals. There's more, but I'm just going to read that. So that sounds really good. It came out on my birthday, September 3rd of this year. And it just kind of sounds like Hunger Games / Inheritance Games. And so I'm down for it. I definitely would like to read that. And then I have a book from Kindle Unlimited called Witchy Coffee. It's just a really short witchy romance that I want to read. It's just a generic romance, really short. And then I want to read into the next series from Holly Black. It's The Stolen Heir. This comes after the Cruel Prince series. I just finished that up, so I want to read that as well. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 books on my Kindle that I want to read. So I'm getting nervous, but they're just possibilities. They don't have to be, really set on anything. It's just like what I kind of want to read. So let me talk about the middle grade books that I want to read. So Last year I had a few more middle grade books that I wanted to read, but I didn't get through all of them, so these are kind of leftovers. I would like to read The Witchlings, and I've wanted to read this for over a year. And this is about a little girl who gets thrown into this ceremony at 11, and she has to be placed. So at 11, they get placed in houses as witches, but she doesn't have any powers. She doesn't get placed in a house, so she goes to a house as a spare and kind of has to go through these challenges to get a spot at the witchling sort of school because she doesn't have real powers. So this one sounded cute when I picked it up a year ago. It still sounds cute. It sounds cute every time I've talked about it. I need to read it. And then in the same essence is Nevermore, The Trials of Morgan Crow. And this is Morgan is born on the unluckiest day. She's blamed for all the misfortunes, and she's going to die at midnight on her 11th birthday. But just before then, a guy named Jupiter comes, whisks her away, and takes her to Nevermore, and she becomes part of the Wondrous Society. So this is a really cute series. I've been wanting to read this forever, and so hopefully I can get it done this month. So as if the books I have at home weren't enough, I did hit the library today. Because I wanted to see what kind of things were out. I didn't go crazy, so I only picked up 3 books. The first book I picked because it's a cozy mystery and it's clearly brand new. This is called Murder on Tour. This is by V.M. Burns. It's part of the Mystery Bookshop, a Mystery Bookshop mystery series. I have not read this series before, but the book was just calling to me. It was on the edge. It looked brand new. It looked like it needed some love. So it says, while Sam wraps up her first whirlwind book tour, Nana Jo has kept Market Street Mysteries running smoothly. The last stop is a prestigious book festival in Sam's hometown of North Harbor, Michigan. But not everyone thinks the guest of honor, best-selling author Judith Hunter, deserves stellar reviews. Sam witnesses nasty arguments between Judith and 2 different authors who accuse her of plagiarism and sabotage. When a publicist is poisoned during a cocktail reception, Sam wonders if the killer missed the intended target. It's a twist that echoes the plot of Sam's mystery, Murder at Wickfield Lodge. But fact can be stranger and deadlier than fiction. How much collateral damage is the killer willing to risk? With feisty Nana Jo and the girls from Shady Acres Retirement Village lending a hand, Sam tries to solve the case before the festival delivers another fatality. So this sounds so cute, and I love the idea of like the Golden Girls helping to solve this crime. So this is super cute. Then I picked up this book called Loathe at First Sight by Suzanne Park. I've read some Suzanne Park books and I really do like her writing. And I actually had this book on loan from Libby, but I never got a chance to read it, so I'm glad I found it while I was there. In this book, it follows a 20-something woman who works as a video game producer. This is a very male-dominated field, and so she's not taken seriously, especially by the men, but even more so an intern, Nolan, who happens to be super annoying but super cute. And so she develops a game in which it's kind of like a joke, but she creates a game in which male strippers fight for survival in a post-apocalyptic world. And so Nolan gets assigned to her team to develop this game, and although she thinks he's useless, he's actually very smart, and they start to have an attraction toward each other. So this sounds really, really cute, and I'm looking forward to reading this. And then the last book I picked up from the library was The Witch is Back. And I don't remember if I read the first book in this last year or not, but I know this one is new, so I was excited to pick it up. This one says, there's nothing wrong with being a wallflower, not to Emmeline Bluewater anyway. Emma may have been born into witch society, but her days of trying to fit in where she doesn't belong are over. They ended 7 years ago when the man she'd hoped to marry left town without a word. She's much happier now, living a delightfully mundane human life in Chicago and running her bar, Toil and Trouble. Until Bastian Truenote walks through the door and announces that he wants her back. Bastian had his reasons for leaving, even if he can't tell Emma what they are. Now, to win Emma's heart, he's got to face down an adorable goofy dog familiar, a best friend who's all too eager to hit him with a carefully aimed hex, and a woman who's far from the meek witch he remembers. Oh my gosh, this sounds really familiar. I wonder if I read this already. I'm going to go double check my Goodreads. because I feel like I read this already last year and I don't think it's new. So I have to double check that. But those are the library books I picked out. Okay, aside from the witchy romance, the dark books are the biggest category I have for this month, which will be interesting because sometimes those books can start to slump me. I don't enjoy a dark book all the time, but we'll see what happens. So I've had this book on my TBR forever, and I even tried to read it last week, but I didn't get to it. Children of Fallen Gods. This is book 2 in the War of Lost Hearts, volume 2. I did read the first one, Daughter of No Worlds, and loved it, and I just can't like get momentum on this. So I do want to read this month. I feel like I have no more excuses. Also, at one point, I had picked up the Atlas 6 by Olivie, and I do want to read this. I also started this, even have a nice little bookmark in it, and I've talked about it before, but I do want to go ahead and read this. And then A Discovery of Witches I've had for a few years, and I even have it on my Kindle. I wanted to read this, and I really want to get into this series. And this is just like a dark academia book following Diana Bishop. She's a young scholar and descendant of witches, and she unearths an enchanted manuscript. Wanting nothing to do with sorcery, she banishes the book to the stacks. But her discovery has set a fantastical underworld stirring, and soon a horde of demons, witches, and other creatures descends upon the library. So I know this is a whole series. This one's kind of long, but I have had this on my list for a while, so I like to prioritize this. Another book I've had on my list for a while is the 4th and last book of the Natural series, Bad Blood. I did not love this series as much as I love the Inheritance game. However, I need to finish the series. I would love to end the year like finishing these series that I started. And this again joins Cassie and all the crew as they solve another mystery. In this series, there's a group of teens who are called the Naturals. They have all these natural abilities to solve cases. And so like the FBI recruits them to solve different murder cases. And so I've heard the last one is really, really good. I am still on All In. I might just call that a wrap and move on to this one. Because I didn't love All In, and that's what kind of stopped me in the series. But I've heard this last one is really good. So I'm going to move on to that. And then I have One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. This is a new mystery that's come out, and it says Elspeth Spindle needs more than luck to stay safe in the eerie, mist-locked kingdom of Blunder. She needs a monster. She calls him the Nightmare, an ancient mercurial spirit trapped in her head. He protects her, he keeps her secrets, but nothing comes for free, especially magic. When Elspeth meets a mysterious highwayman on the forest road, her life takes a drastic turn. Thrust into a world of shadow and deception, she joins a dangerous quest to cure blunder of the dark magic infecting it. Except the highwayman just so happens to be the king's own nephew, captain of the most dangerous men in Blunder and guilty of high treason. So this is I want to say this is YA. It's a YA fantasy. It's part of the Shepherd King series, and I've heard that this is really good, so I would like to get into that. As I'm going through this, I'm starting to see how delusional this is, but we're just gonna keep rolling with it. Okay, and next I want to read Assistant to the Villain. I've had my eye on this book for a while. I've heard it's really cute. It's got a little fantasy realistic magic or magical realism and romance in this, and it's on Kindle Limited, but I haven't caught a groove with it, so I ordered it on Amazon and plan to use both mediums to get through it. It's not very long. It's like 337 pages. I think I just have to get started on it and be focused, and it'll be all good. The last two books in this sort of category are series books. And so first up I have Leather and Lark. I am reading this on my Kobo and on the actual book, and I would like to finish it. I just stopped picking it up. It's actually really good. And I would love to say that I finished this duology and see what comes next. And then the last book in Good Girl's Guide to Murder is As Good as Dead. And I also want to read this. I am really trying to wrap up some of these loose end series that I haven't finished in a couple years just to be done with them. I really loved A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Good Girl Gone Bad was sort of copy and paste, and so I was hesitant to move on to book 3, but hopefully book 3 will bring on a whole new sort of essence, and it's been enough time between the last time I read a book and this one that it might actually hit a little different. So hoping to read this as well. All right, next up are my witchy romances. Okay, I don't know if I showed, but my earrings, I want to find some more Halloween earrings. This one says Boo. It's the only sort of Halloween earrings I have, but they're so appropriate for this video, so I hope you love them. This category is all witchy romance. And this is what I literally am here for in the month of October. Yes, I love the other categories and the other books I want to read, but this is where I shine because I love these types of books. They're pretty predictable. And I will get tired of them, guaranteed, but I'm so excited. And most of these books are books that I got from my book haul, my birthday book haul. So first up is Pumpkin Spice and Everything Nice. I just actually picked this up. It's on Kindle Unlimited as well. This is a YA romance, and it also gives Gilmore Girl vibes. It says, Lucy Kane hates pumpkin spice lattes, which is a problem because A, Lucy lives in the quaint New England town of Briar Glen, where everyone loves all things autumn, and B, she's a barista at her mom's coffee shop, Cup of Joe. As the first fall leaves descend upon Briar Glen, Lucy and her mom gear up for a busy season. But then Java Junction, a multinational coffee chain, opens a store literally across the street, home of the world-famous pumpkin spice latte. To make matters worse, it turns out that Jack Harper, the new kid in school and Lucy's secret crush, is the son of the owners. Talk about mixing business with pleasure. If Cup of Joe wants to survive the competition from Java Junction, Lucy will have to set aside her feelings for the popular drink and Jack to make this the coziest pumpkin spiciest season ever. This just sounds so good. It sounds like Gilmore Girls with a mix of You've Got Mail. So excited to read that. Then I have Love and Other Conspiracies. This cover is so cute, and I picked this up for my birthday haul. So the book says Halle Barrett's life is imploding after she's dumped by her hotshot ex, who also happens to be her coworker and the star of the online series she was producing. Without a new show to present for the company competition, she'll be out of a job. But inspiration can come from the strangest places, like the most handsome guy she's ever seen, passionately discussing Bigfoot on a late-night docuseries. Hayden Hargrove made a name for himself as a cryptid expert on his hit podcast, and he's intrigued by the plucky, blue-haired producer who offers him the opportunity to lead his own web show. When the production team sees that Hayden's solo on-screen presence is bad enough to make a ghost blanch, Haley jumps on camera too, hitting him and his cryptids with a healthy dose of skepticism. As Hayden and Halle investigate the unknown, they unearth feelings for each other that shake their beliefs to the core. In their search for Mothman, aliens, and the truth, the most elusive discovery might just be learning to love again. So I just thought that sounded so cute. Then I have the second book in this Mothman series. This is I'm Engaged to a Mothman. This is the book I read in August, the sequel. It is following Heather, who is a burnt out influencer who now in book 2 is engaged to the Mothman, and excited to see what happens here. I don't know what the plot will be of that, because like the whole idea of the first book was like to catch the Mothman, so I don't know. Next up, I have Bewitched by Sophie H. Morgan. It says 6 weeks ago, Leah Turner snuck into a witch high society mass ball and promised to abide by 2 rules. 1, don't draw attention to yourself, and 2, don't talk to anyone. As a human, Leah took a huge risk by even attending and by talking to the enigmatic warlock who had her wanting to rip off her mask. But this Cinderella had to leave the ball before anyone discovered her secret. Gabriel Goodnight is everything a higher family warlock should be. Powerful, responsible to a fault, some might say. Still, before he can inherit his parents' business, he'll have to prove his merit to the board one final time by living among humans without his powers for 3 months. When Gabriel walks into Leah's bar, she immediately recognizes him, but it's obvious he has no idea who she is, and he definitely doesn't know she knows about magic. This condescending, uptight man is hardly the Prince Charming she thought she knew. That doesn't mean they can't have a little fun, so that sounds good. Last 2 books. First up is Big Witch Energy by Molly Harper. This is the sequel to the book, which is Get Stuff Done. And this book is about Carolyn, who is at Starfall Point, is where she lives. And she wants to leave the town, but she is there for her family because there's a curse on her family. And then there's single dad Ben Holt, and he came back to the town to run the med clinic. And of course, they're going to have fun getting to know each other and dating. This looks like a Hallmark movie to me, like the way it's written. And then the last book that's on my list, and guys, I want you to comment down below, do you think I'll be able to do this? And the answer is no, but like, give me support. I feel like if I really plan this out, I can work hard to get this. And what books would you take off the list if you could, so that I can get through all this? So the last book on the list is My Vampire Plus One by Jenna Levine. This is the second book in the vampire sort of series. And the first book is My Roommate is a Vampire. And in this book, there's a fake dating trope between Amelia and Reginald. Obviously, he's a vampire, and they need to fake date for both sides of the family. So I'm excited to kind of see what this is about. I believe the first book was just mid, but I'm hopeful. It's cute. It's a nice little series. I also have Nothing Like the Movies by Lynn Painter that's coming out this week that I really want to read as well. So it's just a ton of things to be doing. So what I need to do is like remove TikTok and YouTube from my phone and just really dig into reading, plot out which books I want to read each week so that I'm constantly going, and prioritize the ones that make the most sense. So if you have any suggestions on how I should do that, comment down below because I would love to hear them. If you're going to read any of these books, please let me know, or let me know what you're reading. I would love to hear all about it. I love October and this witchy season. As always, thanks so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.